Good evening, I'm Scott Beadle with St. George News at 8. A St. George man learns his fate for a murder conviction. Maury Kessler has reaction from the family of Jerica Christensen, who was killed in 2010.
We're here at the Washington County Courthouse, where earlier today, Brandon Perry Smith was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison for his part in the murder of Jerica Christensen. We're able to catch up with members of Jerica's family and ask for their response on the sentencing today.
A frightening thought that there is some possibility that he could get out one day. And even though I'm sure he's a decent human being to some people, a decent human being doesn't do to a human what he did. And it's a frightening thought that he could come out of jail one day and perhaps harm another person.
None of Smith's family members or his friends got up to speak in court, and if they had, is there anything you would like to hear from them?
What can you say? Justice was served, and it didn't do anything to bring Jerica back. She's still gone, and our family will move forward and try and heal as best as we can and honor and keep her memory alive. When I talk about my daughter Jerica, it isn't because I'm looking for sympathy. It's because I want people to remember that I have a child, and her name's Jerica, and she'll always be a part of my family, and I want her memory kept alive.
The sentencing that the judge handed down brings an end to a 6.5-year court process, although it is most likely that appeals will be filed in the future. Back to you at the studio.
LDS Church President Thomas S. Monson was hospitalized in Salt Lake City Monday evening. The spokesperson for the church says the 89-year-old was not feeling well that night. His hospitalization comes a day after the church wrapped up their general conference, where Monson made short appearances at the pulpit and announced 5 new temple locations, including one in Sarasota Springs. Monson is the 16th president of the Church of Latter-day Saints. 3 people, including a 2-year-old, escaped serious injury in a left-turn collision Wednesday morning. It happened at the intersection of 700 South and 700 East around 10:30. Police say the driver of a truck heading westbound on 700 South was waiting in the left turn lane to pull into a business complex. The truck driver says the light changed to red. He turned and was struck by a woman driving an SUV traveling eastbound. The driver of the SUV says her light was green. The truck driver was cited for failure to yield on a left turn. Police say drivers turning left do need to yield to oncoming traffic, even if the light turns red. A Cedar City man accused of threatening police will be allowed to bail out of jail for $500. 32-year-old Christopher Lee Lesko faces 6 felonies for discharge of a weapon for allegedly firing 6 rounds inside his home while threatening a police officer over the phone. A judge set his bond at $5,000 with ability to bail out for 10% of that. Lesko allegedly threatened police multiple times Thursday through Saturday last week, at times specifically targeting Police Chief Darren Adams. Lesko allegedly said he wanted to commit suicide by cop. A judge ordered a substance abuse evaluation and mental health exam for Lesko. He's due back in court on April 12th. Now to the latest on the investigation into Russia and the Trump campaign. President Trump tells the New York Times he thinks former National Security Advisor Susan Rice may have committed a crime. Sources say the intelligence community investigated Russia's election meddling. In some cases, Trump campaign and transition officials were inadvertently caught up in surveillance, and Rice requested their identities. Megan Hughes has the story.
President Trump at a news conference with Jordan's King Abdullah railing against the Obama administration.
I inherited a mess.
In an off-camera interview with the New York Times, he took aim at former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice. Asked if she committed a crime, Trump reportedly said, "Do I think? Yes, I think." This after accusing President Obama on Twitter last month of wiretapping Trump Tower. In both instances, the president has offered no evidence.
There was no such collection surveillance on Trump Tower or Trump individuals.
Rice telling MSNBC that she did unmask the identities of Americans picked up by surveillance, but says that's not illegal, and that it would have only been illegal if she leaked those names to the press.
I leaked nothing to nobody, and never have and never would.
While Republicans on Capitol Hill push for Rice to testify, Democrats say the White House is throwing dust over the real investigation into Russia. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi repeating calls for Intelligence Chairman Devin Nunes to recuse himself.
They cook up some intelligence. They bring the chairman of the committee, who has a very distinguished position, which he has tarnished.
While Nunes stands firm, the White House announcing a security team shakeup. Trump's chief strategist, Steve Bannon, removed from his role on the National Security Council's Principals Committee. His removal, the White House says, was not a demotion, but a logical move. The replacement for former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, H.R. McMaster, shares Bannon's vision.
A spokesperson for Susan Rice responded to the president's remarks, saying, quote, "I'm not going to dignify the president's charge with a comment." Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers has your Southern Utah forecast after this.
The weather tonight is brought to you by Town & Country Bank, where banking is a simple pleasure.
And welcome back, everyone. A good Wednesday evening to you. Some sunshine out there today. Temperatures not too bad for this time of year, but some warmer weather back in the area as we head to your Thursday, especially here in southern Utah, seeing temperatures get back into the upper 70s to low 80s. But there is some threat of rain coming, mainly by late Friday and then through the day on Saturday. Could see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms back in our forecast. But a beautiful day on our Thursday, just some gusty winds around the area, but very warm temperatures here in actually a good portion of Utah. We're going to see these warm temperatures throughout the area, but there is a front you can see well off to our west, just getting into parts of California on our Thursday. That's the next front. They'll bring some rain chances back to our area late Friday. It could bring more rain chances to the area by the time we get into the upcoming weekend. But here's your Cedar City forecast on your Thursday. A little cool to start, 34 degrees. With mainly clear skies. We'll see mostly sunny skies through the afternoon, maybe a few clouds from time to time. Temperature reaching to 68 degrees a high in Cedar City. South winds up to 20 miles per hour. St. George and southern Utah, again, temperatures are going to be close to 80. We'll go for upper 70s to low 80s throughout the day, partly to mostly cloudy skies, but we should see a little sun from time to time. We start in the upper 40s around 7 o'clock in the morning, by noon up to 62, and then 79 degrees by 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Here's those high temperatures from today. Again, upper 60s to low 70s across a good portion of the area, but again, Cedar City a little on the cooler side, 62 degrees. Late this afternoon, we saw a high of 72 degrees here in St. George, 78 degrees over in Mesquite, 77 degrees in Las Vegas, and 72 degrees, a high temperature today in Hurricane. So we'll really enjoy some warm weather for our Thursday. Temperatures into the low 80s in a majority of the area. And again, seeing those sunshine across our region as well, but that rain chance does increase late Friday, and that could actually last into Saturday and even Sunday. Here's a look at our temperatures for tonight. Again, a cool start in Cedar City, 34 degrees overnight. Everyone else, though, in southern Utah enjoying temperatures, or should see temperatures into the upper 40s to low 50s, mainly clear skies overnight tonight. Now for our Thursday, temperatures reach up to 68 degrees a high in Cedar City. Low 80s, though. It could be as warm as 85 in Mesquite, 80 degrees a high in Hurricane, and 80 degrees in St. George, again with southwest winds, a little gusty, maybe 10 to 15 miles per hour throughout the area. Now your 7-day forecast in Cedar City does show those warm temperatures, but windy weather in the forecast on your Friday. Now for the weekend, that's when some showers do move back into the area. Temperatures back into the upper 50s in Cedar City and low 50s by Sunday, and some sunshine returning by early next week. Everyone else in southern Utah, then St. George included, showing temperatures close to 80 for a high on your Thursday, upper 70s by Friday. Some rain chances come in Friday into early Saturday, with temperatures dropping back into the 60s for high temperatures by early next week. It looks like we'll see temperatures by Sunday in the low 60s in southern Utah. So a little chilly weather back in the forecast over the weekend, but really seeing some nice warm up once again early next week.
Looking good for the next few days.
Yeah, we'll definitely enjoy that.
Thanks, Chris. We'll be back right after this. A new exhibit is on display at Gallery 35 in St. George. It shows firsthand the history and hard work of the early Washington County settlers. April's exhibit will focus on photographs depicting how agriculture and water shaped the county's history, and is part of the Snapshots Washington County Work series. Snapshots will exhibit photos taken and collected by Lynn Clark, photographer, historian, and author of Images of Faith. The April exhibit will open Friday with an artist reception and book signing from 6 to 9. That exhibit will be there through May the 2nd. Thanks for watching.
Hope you have a great night.